Well, hey, life groups, welcome back to the vision portion of our life groups. Here we are with Pastor Wayne, and Pastor Wayne's going to fill us in on where we are with Love Sioux Falls. And after that, I want to share with you about a really special opportunity for our life groups coming up at the end of March. So, Wayne, where are we with Love Sioux Falls?
That's really cool. So one thing I want to mention to everybody is just stay really excited about this event to begin with. This is an awesome opportunity for us as a church to go out and serve, number one. And the other thing, Wandy, by now you should have received a packet in the mail with your event.
The sign-up sheet?
And the sign-up sheet.
Okay.
You should have all received that by now. And if you haven't got that out and haven't showed that, you need to get a hold of your leader and say, where's our sign-up sheet?
Yeah, but why is it important for us to get that sign-up sheet back? What's that all about? Why is it important?
Really good. That's really critical. On a couple of fronts, Wandy, because these nonprofits now are expecting a certain group of people to come, a certain number of people to come and get this event done for them. So, number one, if we're short, for example, let's say your life group only has 8 people and 10 are needed, well, we got to find 2 more people to fill that spot so we can get the job done. That's number one. Number two is we've got some people in the church that are not currently in life groups, and they want to get involved in this Love Sioux Falls, and we want them to.
And we're saying that from stage every
exactly.
Sunday, right? We're telling them, hey, if you're not in a life group, come join us. So
exactly. So people like that who are not into a life group, they want to come and get involved in Love Sioux Falls. We can plug them into your life group and help you with your event.
Right.
That way, who knows? They may even join your life group.
Yeah, and that's really the goal. Like people who aren't in a life group, if we get those sign-up sheets back, we fill in the spots. We can put people in. You'll be surrounded with people who are not in a group, and they can maybe make a connection and come to your group. So
that's really, really important. It's critical, actually, that we get these sheets back.
That's a great heart of Love Sioux Falls. I love that. Now, we talked about the sign-up sheets and everything. What can they expect now? What happens now? The sheets are in. It's March 14th, 15th. It's coming up. They've been assigned to one of those dates, a certain project. What do they expect now? What do they do? What do they do now?
Yeah, these next couple of weeks, it is very close. It's only 3 weeks away, right?
Yeah, it's not far at all. We're already almost in March.
Yeah.
So
what you need to do now is just really stay pumped about this. Talk about it amongst your leaders, make sure, and your group, make sure that everybody's on board, make sure everybody's going, and then within the next week or so, you should receive another package in the mail. It's going to be a real cool way to connect us all together. So be excited, be ready to receive another package. Probably at your next life group meeting, it should have by then. So that's a cool thing. So
well, thank you, Wayne, for filling us in on where we are with Love Sioux Falls. I know it's really important. I mean, we're so excited about that. It's a really cool event. Thank you for filling us in. So thanks for joining us.
Awesome.
But I want to tell you guys about a really exciting opportunity as well after the Love Sioux Falls event. We have a great opportunity with the Stampede. Okay, so when you guys are familiar with that, on March 23rd at 6:05 p.m., we are having a life group, the Ransom Church Life Group Night at the Stampede Arena for a game.
Hockey game.
Okay, this is a big deal. Okay, there's some information. So listen up. This is why you want to go. A, it's hockey.
Yeah, obviously.
Canadian.
Everybody wants to go hockey.
I love hockey, okay? So, A, it's hockey. B, for every $10, tickets are $10. So, every $10 you spend, $4 is donated to the nonprofit of our choice.
Right.
Okay?
That's really cool.
Now, the third reason, which is not the most important, but it's pretty exciting, is if we get majority of our life groups there, that means one of the pastors from the Ransom is going to be slingshot across the ice, okay, in the middle of halftime. So if you want to see one of us, I'm not going to tell you who, but one of us be slingshot across the ice, if you wanted to see that happen and maybe us fall over or something like that, then you want to be there, okay? There are 2 ways to get tickets, okay? First, you can contact the information on the screen. It'll pop up right about now. And you can contact Bethany is her name. And you can call them as a life group individually. And she will get you information. You can pay over the phone, get tickets. Or the second way you can get your ticket is stopping by the hub, either in Harrisburg or downtown campus. It looks just like this flyer. Okay, just making sure you can see it. You pick that up, and it has instructions on how to purchase your ticket. You are not able to purchase it the night of because they have to count up the numbers of people who are there before the night, okay?
Cool.
So tickets are $10, guys. It's a great opportunity for your life group to go out and have a fun night together. That's what it's all about. The Covenant Community Life Groups is about going out and
just a fun night together.
Having fun.
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
and,
you want to be a part of that. So life group night at the Stampede doesn't get any better.
It doesn't get any better than that. Hockey game, make some money for the nonprofit.
And before end, I know this is a little bit longer, but before end, I need to give a shout out to 2 groups, okay? The Metzger Ransom Teen R3 group, shout out to you guys. Thank you for texting my phone over and over again and letting me know that you wanted a shout out. And the second group is the Harrisburg Ransom Teen Life groups. You guys are awesome. Thank you for putting that message in. If you guys want your life group to have a shout out, just let me know and we'll see what we can do.
Sounds great.
But that's it for our VisionCast update for life groups. You guys have a great group tonight. Be blessed, and I'll see you next week.
Love Sioux Falls.
Love Sioux Falls. See you later, guys. So welcome to the first week of our new series, Who is Jesus? This 8-week series is going to look into the life of Jesus Christ and his ministry here on earth. It's going to challenge us to wrestle with a question, with a statement, who is Jesus? I'm excited about what it's going to do in our hearts and the way it's going to challenge us to look at the life of Jesus Christ. So, who is Jesus? Wikipedia says that virtually all modern scholars of antiquity agree that a historical Jesus existed, although there is little agreement on the reliability of the gospel narratives and how closely the biblical Jesus reflects the historical Jesus. So would you classify Jesus as a good man, someone who came and lived a good life, a peaceful life, and people just observed that and were changed by that? Or was he a good rabbi, a good teacher, someone who knew the word, knew scripture, and taught people how to live a great moral life? Or was Jesus a revolutionary, someone who came and challenged the authorities and eventually changed the scope of history? Here's the truth. Jesus was more than all of that. In this Sunday's message, Pastor Phil Tagg said this: Jesus changed the world not by making himself great, but by redefining what it means to be great. In Philippians 2, verses 6 through 8, it says, "Though he was God, he did not think of equality with God as something to cling to. Instead, he gave up his divine privileges. He took the humble position of a slave and was born as a human being. When he appeared in human form, he humbled himself in obedience to God and died a criminal's death on a cross." So how did Jesus change the world? One word: humility. Jesus came and made himself into nothing. He defined greatness by the way he lived his life. You know, in that point of history, he was surrounded by many Greeks and many Romans. Many of you know this. And they thought that self-absorption and honor were the way to success, the path to success, and that humility was actually seen as a weakness. You know, today we still have the same things. We still have social media that feed into self-absorption and trying to honor ourselves. And you guys know, if you saw my picture this Sunday, that I'm guilty. I've taken a selfie before. I'm guilty of that. But listen, it's not about guilt. It's about Jesus. And Phil challenged us at the end of his sermon to open up our minds and to look at the life of Jesus in a new way. And as we trek along in this series, we want to see how Jesus lived his life and redefined greatness. Now, you have a great discussion, and I'll see you again for Reflect. Be challenged. Welcome to Reflect. I want to start off by asking you a serious question. Are you ready? It's a serious one. Have you ever played King of the Hill? I know, it's a serious question. Have you ever played King of the Hill? This is the game where you find a hill, or in this case, since we're in South Dakota, a snow hill or ice hill, if you will, and you fight each other, you shove each other. It's a shoving match trying to get to the very top of the hill. And then you fight for your position as long as you can to be king of the hill. The greatest person in the game is the one who can stay up there the longest. I love that game. It's a fantastic game. I played it growing up. Now, what happens if we keep playing this game in our lives today? In our culture, we admire this game. We believe that the greatest one is the one who reaches the top. You reach the top if you have the greatest kids, the perfect kids. You reach the top if you perform the best. You reach the top if you gather enough material things. And we believe that this is greatness. Pastor Phil said in his teaching this Sunday, Jesus changed the world not by making himself great, but by redefining what it means to be great. So Jesus, the only king of the hill, came down to earth, took on flesh form, endured pain, conquered all sin, and lived an entire life of humility. And that's just incredible. That's amazing. But that battles against our king of the hill mentality. Is totally countercultural to what we're taught growing up. And in Henry Nouwen's The Selfless Way of Christ, he gives us insight on how we ought to live out our faith in our culture today, and he's pretty in tune with our struggles. This is what he says. Our lives in this technological and highly competitive society are characterized by a pervasive drive for upward mobility. It is difficult for us to even imagine ourselves outside of this upwardly mobile lifestyle. Our whole way of living is structured around climbing the ladder of success and making it to the top. Our parents, teachers, and friends impress upon us from the moment that we are able to pick up the cues that it is our holy task to make it in this world. To be a real human or man or woman, this is to show that one can not only survive the long competitive struggle for success, but also come out victorious. The goal of this week's Reflect, just like in the first week of this series, Who is Jesus?, is to help us wrestle against the struggle that we have inside of us. And in the same book that Henry Nouwen wrote, he gave us 3 temptations that we struggle with the most. First, the temptation to be relevant. Second, the temptation to be spectacular. Third, the temptation to be powerful. And these 3 temptations are paralleled with the story of Jesus being led out into the desert and being tempted by Satan in 3 different ways. So here's the first one. The temptation to be relevant is really what we sometimes call our calling. We make ourselves believe that we are called to be productive, successful, and efficient people. Just like when Jesus was first tempted to eat bread after fasting for 40 days, the world offers to feed us by our titles and accomplishments. Jesus rebuked Satan and said that it wasn't by bread alone that man lives off of, but by God's word. The temptation to be spectacular, this is when we want to be seen by others, to be applauded for our hard efforts. In terms of a church leader or pastor, this is when we count the people in the seats and we feel just significant if there's more. Or to the professional, this is when we count the number in our bank account. So you see, Jesus was led to a high place in Jerusalem, and he was dared to jump off so the angels would come and rescue him. Just like us, he was tested to be seen and noticed, to show everyone that he really was the true Messiah. The temptation to be powerful, this is when we keep asking the question, who's in charge? We are tempted to make much of gaining a sense of security and control by controlling others instead of loving others. Satan tempted Jesus to bow at his feet and worship him, and he promised to give him all the kingdoms of the world. Jesus knew where true power came from and sought out to love people instead of controlling people. So I want to invite you right now to wrestle with this, and I have to be honest with you, I don't even like talking about this because something deep down inside of me just doesn't want to change. And I know that thing that's prompted me to change is the Holy Spirit, and that's something that I need to correct in my life. I need to understand that I'm not the king of the hill anymore, that I can't believe it to be that way, and I have to be honest with myself that I am really tempted with being relevant, with being spectacular, with being powerful. So I want to challenge you to talk about this in your discussion right now, and I'll see you again for React. Have an incredible discussion and wrestle down this challenge. In this week's React, I'm going to challenge you to read along with us in the book of Matthew for this 8-week series. In your hub this Sunday, you should have received a bookmark with reading assignments for every single week. We're going to go through the entire book of Matthew. Now, I know this seems like a very simple challenge, but I guarantee you it can be difficult. So you'll need the accountability of your group to help you stay on track. I know that you guys are adults. I know that some of you watching are teen life groups as well. It's so important to stay in the Word, in this gospel, as we go through the life of Jesus Christ. I guarantee you that by reading His Word and staying in it, just for the book of Matthew, if that's your devotionals for the weeks to come, that something in you will change and you'll see something there before that you never really noticed. God bless you guys. Have an incredible group. Have an incredible week. And I'll see you next week for week 2 of Who is Jesus? Have a blessed week.